Hi, this is Dean, and we're going to take a quick look at building a basic website using Google Sites. I've started out in my Google Drive, and I am going to click the button way over to the right that some of you might know as the waffle. When I click that button, I get a lot of icons up for apps, and I'm going to use Google Sites. When I click on that, I go to a page where I can see previously created sites that I've made, some of them practicing for this screencast, and I would like to make a new site at this point, so I'm going to use the Create button. Now I'm on my page to create a site, and I have my choice of using a blank template where I will lay everything out myself from scratch, or looking through the gallery. Now, some of the items in the gallery already come with some buttons and other elements on pages. If we didn't want those, we have to delete them and maybe rearrange. Rather than mess with that right now for a beginner, we are going to go right to a blank template. But first we need a name for the site. Let's call this Example for Screencast. I'd like a lowercase f there, like book title capitalization. And you can see after I put that title in, or the name for my site location down below kind of adapts that over, or adapts it to become a URL. I'm ready to start off with my site, and I hit my Create button. This will take a bit to process, and then we will be taken to our site, which will be ready for editing. Here's our site, ready for us to start work. When we create a site with Google Sites, we get a home page all created for us right away. Notice at the top of the page, I've got some buttons here that a user, a visitor to our site, will not see. The first one allows us to edit the page that we are on. The second allows us to add pages. And the third is represented by a gear. Those are our settings, and the settings allow us to do things to the website or to the page that we're on. We'll look at those in a bit because we will need them. We will be adding a page, and we are going to start off by editing the home. We are going to do a couple of things on our home page here. First of all, we want just a little bit of welcoming text, and then as an example of what can be done quickly, we're going to add one image to this page. I'll click the Edit button to get started, and now you can see I have some buttons that will help me function the way I would inside a word processor. I'm going to insert text right here. My cursor is already there, so I can start editing. There's my simple little bit of text all ready to go. Now, as long as I'm editing in here, I can see my cursor blinking. As soon as I click my cursor outside, it stops. I've edited just the way I need to, but I do want to add a picture to this site. I'm going to go up to the Insert menu, and I'm going to choose Image. And I'm going to choose to upload an image. And I'm going to take one from my hard drive. And here's a little portrait I can use. Now, when I click to open this, I'm going to be using a file that is a lot bigger than I want to have it appear on the page. So you can see that I've got it kind of cut off here, and I am going to use these buttons to manipulate the size. So I can choose small, medium, or large. There's a small one. I don't want it to overwhelm the text. Obviously, I'd rather have a closer picture of a person if I were going to put it that small, but We are fine as is right now. Next, we're going to, since we're happy with this page and we'd like to move on and add a new page, we'll click Save. And now we'll go to the button that has the icon that shows a little page with a plus. And I'd like to call this page About. You've seen that on websites before. It just tells you a little about the web page or website, a little bit about the organization that put the page or site out. We have a choice of exactly where we would like that page to fall. I'm going to let it be organized in what we'd call a top level, so it will be equal in navigation with home, not under the home page. We'll hit Create, and away we go. Here's our new page. Let's type something very short here as our text. This is an example. That's all we need because we like to keep moving. I'll click outside of this text box to remove that editing cursor. And I'm going to scroll down just a bit, and I'd like to show you two items that have been automatically built on this page for me. One is a files area where anybody who's visiting this page can add a file. This is great if you want to make a page where students submit assignments, if people are working on projects together and would like to swap files, but we aren't going to need it on this page. And then down below we have a comments area where any users that visit can add comments. Also not needed on this page since it's just a simple About page. I can't do anything about these directly right now, so I'm going to hit Save and go to my page settings. Now remember, settings is here on the gear button. After I've clicked, I get under Page Actions to Page Settings, and I'm going to get a dialog box that'll let me set properties for the page. Here they are. I do want to show my page title. For this, it makes sure people know that they've navigated to the page they meant to go to. I don't have links to subpages right now, but if I did, I'd want them available. And I do not want attachments. That's what the file area was for. I do not want comments on this page. I've deselected those both. I'm going to click my Save button. And once the page is refreshed, you can see all I've got is my About text. Next, we're going to create another page that'll help us embed some media. We're going to add another page now, clicking on that Page Plus button. We're going to call this one Media. I'm sure you've been to websites before where you could see a video or listen to some audio that's put right out on the page. In some cases, it's something that hasn't even been created out on that website. It's been brought in from somewhere else, and that's what we're going to do. Out on YouTube, I've chosen a video that would be kind of helpful to certain people working in educational technology, and I've got the URL for that, and I'm going to add that to my site here. When I get into my page and ready to edit, I choose my Insert button again, and I scroll down to YouTube. Now I have saved the URL from that media, and I click to paste it in here by holding Control and pressing V, and you can see that, look at that, it has found the video, already given me an avatar to tell me this is what I'm expecting to insert. When I hit Save, a widget appears on my page that says, yes, I know you want a video right here. Notice that I still have an Attachments or Add Files area and a Comments area. Can't imagine too many reasons why I'd want to add files or attachments in this area. So after I save the page, notice that, by the way, my video is embedded, ready to run. I'm going to go back to my page settings, and I am going to deselect Allow Attachments. This way I can have comments, but there's no reason for anybody to add files, so they won't be offered to do that. I click Save, and here I am with my media ready to play and my comments area ready for input from viewers and users. We have one last page to add, and we will do that, showing what it would look like to have a links page to useful links. We're only going to add one just for an example. Let's click that page button again, add one more page, and we'll call it links. We'll hit the create button and we'll have our page. And here it is. I'm ready to insert a hyperlink on this page, and I can do it by using the insert menu and then finding the link item, or I can just click this link button right here. And I'm going to add a link not to another page on the site, but to a web address. We are going to link to a help site. And this is the site that we'll link to. Notice I was adding it here in the URL box. And I can have that URL display, or I can do something a little fancier by putting some other text here. Let's say, click here for help. This is what the user will see. When they click that link, they will be directed to this URL. We'll click OK. You can see that's ready to appear. I'm going to save this page, and definitely do not need to add attachments on this page or comments. So let's go back to our page settings, and we will say we do not want to allow attachments or comments. We'll save. The page updates. One last thing you've probably noticed, but I'd like to point it out. We have added pages, and every time we've had a navigation link in the left-hand navigation area appear so that we can navigate around the site just fine using these links. So I have a very bare bones completed web page here, and we've gotten to see a little bit of everything throughout the whole Google Sites system. I hope you've picked up some things from this. Don't forget, I kept it short so you'd feel comfortable playing it over and over again to find your way around.